A few things feel very concrete in my mind, that we are here to have an unknowable experience, that loving awareness makes it easier, and it would all mean nothing without a little bit of contrast. The past month has flown by for me in a vivid blur of feelings, welcoming both the thoughts that root me in etheric pleasure and those that diminish my courage. I made honest attempts of being myself, loving my family, integrating my judgments, and feeding into a world I believe in. This is what I've been eating and what I've been up to these past few weeks. I am happy to be alive, and I'm so happy you're alive. Thank you for being here with me. So I'm about to eat an everything bagel with tofu, scallion, cream cheese, toasted twice, but I'm just gonna have my little broccoli rabe before. Almond milk matcha. This is a mug that I made and Reese and I both painted on it. I have some allergies right now. Also got a laser tattoo removal appointment. I'm just getting a few of my tattoos removed, and it's not because I don't want tattoos, it's just because I have a bunch of other ideas and I want to more intentionally lay out my tattoos, and I got some of these very spur of the moment, and I'm excited to sort of like reorganize my tattoos, but they're so light that it's only been 2 sessions and they're already starting to lift. Ooh. Everyone has their different preferences with bagels. I personally love breaking them apart and eating each section by section. It just makes me feel like I'm appreciating what's going on, and it's a perfect ratio of cream cheese to bread. Every day that I'm in the city, I get so excited to leave the house. I've been trying to throw a fit a few times a week, and I'm really trying to make this hat happen. I don't really know if it works for me, but there is a vibe to be had here, I believe, with a huge coat. Like, if you saw me on the street, you would know not to fuck with me, yes? Isn't that right? You would know not to approach me? Know your place. Type shit. Like, I really do it for the girls and the gays, and I just need you to know that in every way. But this is my bag. I thought I would show you what I'm carrying around the city. Predictably, I have my daily pages journal. This other journal that I recently started filling in. I want to fill this whole thing up with figure drawings, and I really like the way that pencil looks on this natural paper, so I'll be getting a lot of practice in there. Favorite little pencil set. And I also bring this watercolor set. It's really convenient to travel with. And then I take my supplements with me on the go in a little container, but these are the ones I'm taking right now that I've been taking for years, quite honestly. This is Ritual Synbiotic Plus, and I wanted to share them with you. They're the sponsor of today's video, but they're really awesome. So Synbiotic Plus is a mixture of a prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic. Prebiotics to support the growth of beneficial bacteria, and postbiotics to support gut barrier function. These have a minty capsule and a slow delayed release, so you can eat them with or without food, and they're shelf stable. So to me, this has just been the most convenient probiotic that I've ever had, and it's all backed by science. Synbiotic Plus has 2 of the world's most clinically studied probiotic strains and has really helped me with my regularity. And then I also really love Ritual's Haya Sera for daily skin hydration. This basically has hyaluronic acid, which our body naturally produces, which is the moisturizer that I use on my skin every day, but it gives you an extra boost from the inside. So I take one of these every day and one of these as a simple addition to my wellness routine. And if you would like to try them, you can use my link, first one down below, for 25% off your first order. And maybe they will help you find balance and feel good in your body long term, like they've helped me. Every time that I come here, I try to explore a new spot of the park, and I really do find so many new nooks. There's actually a lot of tiny little spaces that you can mind your business in the city. so gorgeous. I've had quite a few meetups here in the past. Shout out to you if you've ever come to one of my meetups. I had a clothing swap, a potluck, a little poetry reading. I almost got fired from my job when I worked at this thrift store for having a poetry reading meditation sesh there because we started passing around some liquor at the end of it. It's hard to exist here with some kind of protection around you or avoidance to fully interact or fully surrender because you have so many opportunities to talk to strangers here or, you know, thousands of people just acknowledging you and your existence. And it's actually more anxiety inducing to not interact and to just try to hide in this sea of people. I just say lean in. Makes my day. It feels like a holy, special, sacred thing happens when you could have just gone about your business and silently walked into a store with your headphones and walked out without interacting with someone. But when you find a point of relatability, there's something about cities that can regularly stoke our humanity.
And then I lived in New York, and then I
It's like a group of guys and they tried to break into the window, so that's when we moved.
oh my god!
I know.
They said just get.
Some things that are new and fresh. I have begun a new painting series that will be focused on women loving women, all the scenes from my day-to-day life, and I'm so excited about it. I've also been spending a lot of time in the veggie garden. Every single time I'm here, I naturally find something to geek out over, whether it's a new system of nature and plants helping each other grow, or a new kind of cricket shedding its exoskeleton. I love dropping so deeply into these little scenes and moments that are happening outside. But now for some recipes I've been making so regularly this month. If you are not making a chimichurri dressing in your day-to-day life, you are not living and making it to Flavor Town. This is so delicious and I put it on everything. The higher the quality of olive oil, the better the sauce is going to be. And my chef friend also says it's better to chop everything rather than throw it in the blender, but that's what I do and it comes out great. If you love a lemon forward dressing, this one is for you. And I'm so sorry I don't have measurements. I just measure with my soul. But you'll figure it out, I promise. Next up are these crispy rice rolls. I've been making these for like more of my life than I haven't been. I marinate my tofu. I like to heat them up because I feel like the tofu absorbs the flavor a bit more and it really seeps into the tofu. And I've been picking fresh veggies and herbs from my garden. This was my very first veggie garden I've ever made on my own, and the kale is plentiful. I also have several different kinds of basil, so I picked that to add into my spring rolls. And these are basically like an Asian Hot Pocket. You can add pretty much any protein of your choice and anything you want. I've also seen some of these with japchae noodles, which I think is a really fun idea. But yeah, I put rice, seaweed, cucumber, carrot, my kale, and my basil. And traditionally, I love putting hoisin sauce into these. I didn't have any in my kitchen today, but it is one of the easiest ways to make this shit taste bomb. Like, add some hoisin sauce. You can even add a little nutty spring roll sauce inside so you don't have to dip every single one for every single bite. And I really like to fill mine up so that they're very, very filling. And this is a new step for me, but pan frying them and getting them to be a little bit crunchy and then putting furikake on top, it just elevates the whole thing. Even though unnecessary, I will say that pan frying these helps them to last longer in the fridge without the rice paper sticking to the plate and just falling apart. I love a crispy rice. I used to make these all the time when I was living in New York and I didn't have that much money for groceries because you can just put cucumber and carrot and rice in here with some hoisin sauce and it is so delicious. These spring rolls can like get it. My friends and I spent an entire week having sleepovers for no reason at all, and these are some of the recipes I cooked during that time. I sauteed some mushrooms and onions together with very little oil, and I love keeping them nice and thick and juicy. I toasted some local sourdough bread, mashed avocado, and put a local mac nut vinaigrette on top with fresh greens. And then I just loaded everything on top. And I really don't eat eggs too much, but this was the perfect palette for an egg, and it was deliciosa. Next, I've been making this crunchy protein bowl a lot for dessert. It has this coconut Greek style yogurt. So it's coconut based, but with extra protein. And I just sprinkle pretty much everything I have in my kitchen on there. So we have some hemp seeds. This is some local granola that my boss actually makes. I have this honey that I infuse with saffron. It's so delicious. My friend takes care of bees, and so every now and then she'll give me a jar of honey, and I love adding saffron for mental health. And this is powdered soybean. I think it's called injomi in Korean, and it just adds a fun little nutty texture. And I also really like to add cacao nibs for the crunch and for the magnesium. This is so delicious, and I eat this several times a week as dessert. It really hits the spot, and I feel like it's so much more nutrient rich than just getting some ice cream, which is usually what I'm craving when I eat this. And I also love making charcuterie boards, especially when there's a group of people around. I, again, add whatever's in my fridge, which is usually an assortment of veggies and fruits, but it's a fan favorite. You know, I like to add tortillas on the side. This one had a tahini dressing, and I've been obsessed with this mushroom bacon for so long. So I really love making BLTs, and this is kind of like a version of my charcuterie board in a tortilla, but I love a BLT wrap.
Oh my god, Toto, thank you.
Luca and I made this yesterday, and this is night
This
two.
is like the addiction.
Luca, come.
There's more Cool Whip too. It's
More
cocoa.
Cool Whip.
It's cocoa whip.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, vibes.
Honestly,
Thanks for putting me on.
Vibbles. Sorry,
Dude.
guys.
It feels decadent. This became our week-long mascot. We went through 3 of these in such a short period of time, but the next morning we made pancakes with Cool Whip, strawberries, and banana. I ate this after my savory breakfast because I cannot do sweet first thing, but it was so delicious and my heart was so full. We're watching a movie and we have 2 different kinds of popcorn, which is like our dinner tonight. This is maple syrup, salt, nutritional yeast, and this is nutritional yeast, spirulina, and salt. We got a savory and a sweet.
That's so good.
Right? It's really easy. Yum. This may be news to some of you, but it is such a regular part of my experience filming on YouTube that I am riding waves of complete self-doubt, self-hate, and self-judgment. I think because all of my videos are exemplifying my constant attempts to persist and believe in my dreams, it can seem like that's really what my internal world is all the time, and can maybe feel a bit preachy or like there's a bit of self-superiority. But I've always said I'm just a fucked up girl trying to find my own peace of mind, and every single post or video or willingness to be seen is evidence that I've forgiven myself just a little bit for being flawed and imperfect, for not being the fully realized version of myself creatively or emotionally or even intellectually. All of it at times makes me feel incredibly transparent. Even just meeting new friends, like my dear friend Sevin, who I just met in New York. At times I genuinely have this thought that if I can do what I'm doing in this life and I'm this much of a loser, then anyone can do it. Trust. But yeah, this self-judgment is a really regular part of my process. I try not to feed into it, but it lives there. And at the end of this wave that I ride, I find myself recentered in my creative energy as something that is an unconditional seeking of truth within myself that cannot be stopped, lives on a plane beyond judgment, and is something that compels me forward. Making these videos is something that has pushed me forward in life and forced me beyond so many different kinds of discomfort. The more regularly you are stoking your creativity, the more likely you are to have a breakthrough. So meeting that wall and that edge of discomfort or existentialism or self-judgment, whatever it is that you're avoiding, more and more regularly will lead you to more and more breakthroughs and realizations. And it's really wonderful because there's so much grace in the suffering, because it's literally just asking you to be here with it. For me, that's where freedom is. jump scare. I got microneedling done yesterday and my face is very red. This is what we're working with. She went extra hard on the areas that I had some scars or texture. And this is day one. I've heard that microneedling is a really great technique for helping with acne scars and skin texture. So this is my first time ever getting it and really investing in my skincare in this way. But I'm really gonna be cautious in the sun. And so I'm putting on a ridiculous amount of sunscreen. I made plans with my dad today to see this play with some family friends. I think that I'll be out on the town all day. So again, the social experiment just continues. Not to be gross, but I'm feeling rubbed raw right now. So every time my hair gets really long, it starts to split and get really dry. And this is the least dry it's ever been, even though it's still dry and has split ends. I've been using serums all the time. This is one that I use, but I mainly use this Korean one, which I'll make a post about in the future, but it's made such a big difference. I'm wearing this gorgeous skirt that I got in Korea with this really thin black turtleneck, and I'm gonna put my cowgirl boots on. What do we think about this? It's kind of like city chic, yeah? I'm gonna take my ritual vitamins because my skin will be very happy about that. I'm gonna head out and get some matcha before my cute little lunch, my cute little date with my dad.
And the world is really changing, and we're going through the new phase of the world, I guess. You know, the world is going to be a very different place in a couple of years, probably.
How do you balance your spiritual path with taking in the news and stuff like that?
You can keep your path even though the world around is changing. You know, I think the spiritual truth is not changing, you know, that you can rely on. The teaching of Buddha, the Christ, and all. You will know how to deal with the suffering of the other people if you know how to deal with the suffering of yourself. You know, you can share the suffering in the right way. It's all my problem, my guilt. It's all about you, me.
Yeah.
That's a very egotistic place.
You're still making it about yourself.
It's all about yourself, yeah. Transform the suffering into something else. You cannot run away from it. This idea is what they call embrace the tiger. Meditation is a sort of way to do it, you know. Instead of running away or hating your suffering, you face up to it and then transform it by accepting the suffering. The accepting is a tricky word, but it's not in the lame meaning of the word accepting, but it's more like aim of the accepting is to transform the suffering into something else. You know, you cannot do it by running away or fearing and hating. You cannot do it. So the Buddhist idea is to face your suffering, to transform the suffering. I mean, it's such a beautiful world, you can see.
Gracias, Señor, por la vida y la salud. Vengo a ti, Señor. Vengo a ti, Señor. Vengo hoy a ti, Señor, a expresar mi gratitud. Muy bien.
Los venezolanos son muy familiares. Tú llegas allá y ellos no te conocen, te dan la bienvenida, te ofrecen algo.
Familias en Venezuela son muy unidas.
Y tú vives en una cuadra y todo el mundo se conoce. Por lo menos si tú vives aquí, todos los de esta cuadra te conocen. Y cuando tú te mudas a un sitio, vienen y te dan la bienvenida, te reciben bien. En Venezuela todo el mundo baila, porque desde chiquitos los niños aprenden a bailar. Y la gente en Venezuela es muy alegre y le gusta mucho el baile, la fiesta. Entonces todo el mundo baila.
¿Y dónde aprenden?
Con sus hermanas, con su mamá, con su papá, con los amigos. Mira, hay joropo, hay guaracha, hay bolero, hay balsa, hay tango. Uno aprende a bailar de todo.
Yo quiero aprender.
Las playas son preciosas. Las playas son lindas y la arena es blanquita.
El agua es caliente.
Divina. Fabuloso.
Perfecto.
Perfecto, sí. Hay islas muy lindas.
Y montañas.
Tenemos nieve en el Pico Bolívar. Los profesionales de allá eran buscados por todas partes. Los médicos eran magníficos porque la medicina allá era muy buena. La gente no tiene trabajo, los sueldos están por debajo de lo normal.
Es muy triste.
Era el más rico de Sudamérica.
Sí.
La gente comiendo de la basura. Una cosa horrible.
Mommy, look.
No hands. Yep. Okay. Stand. And then, yep. I got you. I'm gonna try to bring your knees together a little bit. Knees together, yep. Okay. And now,
How do we get down?
oh.
And then?
No,
and
give me
then,
your, give me your
and then?
I don't even know what to do. I didn't think about it. Oh my god.
That's how you get down.
Hello, you've made it to the end of my video where I feel a little bit more confident in doing a long stream of consciousness, and I had so many different feelings come up for me this month that I tried to express in this video. But there are like so many different planes and dimensions that we touch in our awareness every single month. When we're reading the news, when we're laughing with our friends, when we're hearing the stories of our elders, when we're connecting with nature, it's like all of these different voices or completely different portals of energy, some that compel us further into light and trust and possibility, and some that shrink our worldview or make us feel trapped. And this process, when you take a moment to zoom out, really feels like a form of meditation. Like you're literally just watching your mood change so quickly. You're watching the external stimuli affect you. And there are lessons to be learned on every plane, on every dimension, which I think is really cool. I have just been, thinking a lot about how corrupt governments are and how humanity has always gotten distracted by power. And I feel like that's it. It feeds into like capitalism and colonialism and sexism. It's just like ego-driven power and control, perhaps stemming from fear, right? Like, why do we need to have power and conquer everything and hoard wealth? Because we're afraid it's going to run out. And so I can feel all these really intense ways about all the fucked up shit that's happening in the world. And then there are moments where I'm just painting and I'm like, wow, my creative energy is really my own to harvest and cultivate, and it is infinite. There's an aspect of my spiritual self and my spiritual embodiment that I have very much matured into. I have really been grounding myself these past few years. I think maybe online it might not seem like that, but just more emotionally, spiritually, and intellectually, really trying to get an honest grasp on things and not just live in a bubble of like, I'm just gonna feel good all the time, and that's my whole purpose of raising the frequency of the earth, which no tea, no shade, but I do recognize there's a need for action. And sometimes I just feel shy to speak on things that I don't fully know that much about, but the things that I feel like I need to, and my empathy is just like blaring me in the face, the things that I understand to be morally wrong, I speak about. And I don't fully know what my role is. I don't always know what my place is, and I'm giving myself permission to figure that out. And I am also claiming that this is a world online that I'm creating, and you can go to so many different sources for evidence and facts and tea and historical context. And I really honestly love watching like deep dives, and I love learning about history. I love reading historical fiction. I actually haven't read any history books in my adulthood, I don't think, but I would love to. I recently finished Pachinko, and as you guys know, I love Toni Morrison, and I'm reading I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou, and anthropology is just really interesting to me. YouTube kind of feels like that in anthropological study. Being like introverted, shy, anxious, or depressed all feel like a bit of anthropological deep dives, because when you are like that, you are just really watching and observing how other people find the will to persist. This feels like this would be my dissertation. How do people move forward in life with all of this pressure to constantly say the right thing, to be evolving their attention spans and their patience and their intellectual critical minds, and also have creative passions and have free will and free thought and rebel against the system? How does anyone stay sane? I'm really curious. But anyway, I think I was making a point that, yeah, there are so many different planes that I tap into, and I'm just coming back home from my grandma's house where there's a different microcosm of problems that I'm focusing on when I'm there, which revolve around caring for my mom, and she's like sneaking out of the house now, and we have to set alarm systems, and my grandparents have other health issues, and I'm taking them to the hospital, and what's going to happen next? Who's going to take the reins on caring for them? Or now we have to hire someone to help my grandparents and not just my mom. And it almost felt like relieving, because it felt so much more manageable than the problems that I kind of make up in my head, that I have to like basically fix everything that's wrong with society, and that all of that responsibility is on my shoulders. It's just like, oh, okay, I can make sure my grandma takes the right medication and like make a system for that. Or just like the simple day-to-day taking out little fires. And I had the least anxiety I've ever had around my family. I haven't had one anxiety attack this whole time, which is insane for me. And I think that a big part of it is that the way that I've been driving myself crazy in my head completely outshines any sort of familial pressure, because with them it's more so like guilt or me disappointing them. But I like didn't even care. I was like, I have such a thick skin right now because I bully the fuck out of myself in my mind. And I just feel like the pressure that I put on myself to try to be better in all of these ways, or like constantly trying to be a better person, it just feels so much more chill for my grandma to be like, that's what you're wearing today? You go out dressed like that? And I'm just like, yeah, like that's so my bit. Like it's just so not personal. And I think that I take things personally when I'm insecure about them, like I mentioned this maybe in my last video, that I don't feel really smart. I don't feel very educated. I feel dumb. Like I genuinely feel dumb a lot of the times. I know I have like emotional IQ, but I just feel maybe like socially awkward and intellectually not that smart. And so I'm constantly trying to make up for that and learn. But even when I'm learning, sometimes I remember like half of the fact and I'll start saying the fun fact and the other half evades me. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I was about to sound really smart there. It does offend me and bother my ego when I get that feedback, or it's just really obvious how ignorant I am. And I think on the internet, it's really clear to just to like judge anyone, but yeah, to just say that like, wow, you're really uneducated in this area. And sometimes it's constructive, sometimes it's not, but those fires in my head burn so brightly and so intensely that everything else has kind of dulled down. And I also am overcoming those bigger fires of my extreme self-judgment and also thinking that I'm a loser. I mentioned that in this video. And I know that I have tons of amazing people around me, and my life is a reflection of a lot of blessings and a lot of honesty that I've sat with myself in. But to me, being a loser, I relate it to allowing myself to be distracted away from the present moment, not always knowing how to have natural conversations when I'm out and about. Like, I was partying a bit with some friends and I was just so awkward meeting the friends of friends, and there are just some moments where I'm like, it's obvious that I'm not that well practiced in this, like being in different environments with like quote unquote cool people. Then again, this was like some random a few DJ parties where people were like just completely in their own vibe. But yeah, what else makes me feel like a loser? I don't know. I guess just how shy I get. And if I'm being honest, when I'm talking to people or meeting new people especially, all I can think about is like, am I doing too much? Like, are they enjoying this? And I am like scanning for signs that it's okay that I'm like talking the amount that I am, or like if they're uncomfortable, am I making too much eye contact, too little? My internal dialogue when I'm meeting a new person or hanging out with someone who I don't know that well is like so fucking exhausting. And the fact that I can't effortlessly be myself, I think that's what makes me feel like a loser, that I'm constantly self-analyzing and watching. It's just like, I see some of my closest friends move through the world and they just like are chill. They don't care. They're not thinking so intensely about what all of their actions say about themselves or mean about themselves, or every conversation. It's just kind of like, yeah, they're just like unfurled. And I met this guy with Reese in like this back green room of some venue, and I didn't really want to talk. It was like 4, maybe 5 a.m. and I just didn't even know what to say to this man's. And then Reese was like chatting him up and saying all these great one-liners, and I'm like, wow, you're so good at that. It was so easy for you to just like not give a fuck and be in a conversation. Meanwhile, I'm like, like, I'm just really overthinking it. So that's what makes me feel like, yeah, that story of just being a complete loser. And also it's funny because a really big thing that makes me feel like a loser is how quickly I resort to wanting to end it all. Because I do get those thoughts, every now and then sporadically. But I'm like, damn, it is crazy how quickly I'm just like, fuck it. I'm just gonna fade out. Like, I'm just gonna delete everything. I'm just gonna delete myself. It happened so quick. And I'm like, girl, how do you oscillate that quickly? But, I know that it's okay. So I do eventually reach a plane where I'm able to just give myself permission to not know everything, to not always say the right thing, to be like maybe embarrassingly bad at art, even though I talk about it all the time, like so far from the visions I see in my head. I think every artist really has struggles with that conundrum of having better taste than skill, especially in the beginning. Like, you really have to believe in that vision in your head, that dopamine induced vision, so that you can go through the discomfort of gaining the technical skills to birth your vision. That is a real thing. But then I just sit and I realize that I'm enjoying whatever this process is of becoming myself, understanding myself, and that no one and nothing can take that away from me. I don't know why it feels so liberating to voice that my creativity is my own and no one can stop me from making whatever I want for the rest of my life. That I can be governed by that voice of light within, and anyone can say anything that they want about it, but it's my own and it's somewhat out of my control. It's basically just me remembering that I have permission to enjoy myself and to accept myself. And again, I know that everyone is so nice to me on here. Thank you so much for being so sweet to me. I don't know why I get so in my head about people thinking that I'm like self-superior. Maybe because I read like one comment about that one time, and all I can think is like, do people really think I'm walking around being like, ugh, if only everyone was as spiritual and self-aware as me? Like, no. But when I say that like I'm happy to be here and I'm happy to be alive, that is really big for me to claim and feel in my bones. And when I say that I want to just practice enjoying myself and liking myself, I really mean that, because that is genuinely not my experience. Again, all my videos are my attempts to really start fucking with myself, to like really be grooving with it, and accepting that the beauty in my life, which I know I'm so incredibly privileged. It's been years that I've been making these videos. I've traveled. I've made like very, very special connections and friendships in my life that are familial, like spanning years and years. I am so grateful, and I really do want to start accepting that it's a reflection of who I am in some way. I know God's involved and God did it all, and spirit, has been conspiring for the highest good, but I also just want to be able to sit there and think that like, okay, I magnetized this as well though. Like I did work hard for this, am part of this beauty that I have created around me. And it feels so good to say that. And I guess that there's a tiny little part of me that is wanting to expand into my own confidence and into my own self-acceptance and just say, fuck it, I'm going to be so myself. I'm going to be even more of myself than I've ever been. And I'm going to test the waters and boundaries of my self-assurance and confidence. And I'm going to fully lean in. And I'm not going to say things that aren't true about myself in my head. I have this journal entry. I just opened it and I've just been staring at it this whole time. But I wanted to read it, I guess, because it felt like the plane of neutrality that I've been finding lately. A week of weak will, submitting to the lowest of frequencies. My aura has felt comparable to a soggy wet towel, held down, bearing the weight of what was supposed to be discarded. When I got back into bed mid-afternoon, I did not fight myself. When I canceled plans, I did so flippantly. And when I felt the hopelessness surround me, I greeted it casually. I could feel myself being called by a voice deep inside, the one that wants me to sober up and write. Yet I actively chose not to awaken. I'm not sure I felt so keenly aware of my avoidance, but it gave me strength knowing that the dream-swept part of my psyche is getting so regularly charged that it felt neglected. My body and mind craving the childlike optimism and sureness of character that comes with it. The plane of possibility feels like it's way more interesting now than my sorrow and my self-hatred. It's like there's so much more to learn in this other realm. And also all of my little niche fascinations, like periods of time in history that I'm studying, I'd much rather, like, more than distract myself or comfort myself, I just would rather be like learning or watching a documentary about a different era of time or trying a new painting method. Like, there's actually so many mediums that I'm excited to try that I think I'm booked and busy for the rest of my life. This is way more interesting and developing and engaging than me just wanting to be sad or like scroll through TikTok or binge eat, or stay inside all day. I'm actually like, wait, everything is stimulating as fuck to me. And that's probably why I get so, sensitive and feel like I need to protect myself, but also the wonder and joy of that, the privilege of that I am moved by so many different things and I'm so curious. That's really special. And to have so many hobbies and passions, that's really a sacred thing. And I am just excited to lean into that, you know? It's just kind of like, I've been doing this thing for a while. All the things, all my patterns, all my videos, all my dynamics, like I've been playing them out for a while. And in tiny increments, exponentially, I've been learning how to trust myself and life more and how to be very honest with myself. I have many faults, I'm very imperfect. I'm not the best communicator, haven't always been the best with boundaries. I, however, am actually learning that I trust my character and my discernment, and that even if I do fuck up, I'm going to do everything in my power to make things right and to learn and to not repeat mistakes, you know? I think that I've been working on this forgiveness thing, and it's not been like a mental conversation. I haven't even used that word, like, I forgive myself for being, you know, bad or wrong. It's more so just like, I love myself enough to try something different. I love myself enough to trust that voice inside of myself that feels good, that makes me feel nice things, and that makes me have the courage to create weird, random shit that I like. And that is everything, you know? And just speaking it out feels so good. So that's like, that must be evidence that it's right? Like just speaking out that anything can happen. Good things are actually happening all the time. Things are changing all the time. Why would things not change for me for the better, you know? Why would things not change for anyone with an open heart for the better? Just claiming it feels so light-filled, just having that moment of hope. And I think that's why prayer is so amazing, because it does enter you into that state. But before I ramble too much, I just wanted to say that my big breakthrough from the month was that I remembered that my creative energy was my own. No one can stop me. I will be making videos, paintings, clay things, sewing, metal smithing. I'm about to start making silver jewelry. No one is going to stop me from expressing whatever divine thing that wants to be expressed, and my whole life will be committed to removing all the blockages that are preventing me from doing so. And I believe in my capacity to be grounded on this earth plane and not overlook the suffering of others and not be jaded and not be completely out of touch and naive. But I also know that I'm going to learn how to walk the path with light and have a deep sense of hope and a regulated nervous system enough to support the people in my family who are like extremely anxiety ridden, and, you know, support the outer communities that I get to tap into. I trust that I'm learning all the lessons I need to learn for wherever I'm going next. Thank you, God. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, all benevolent beings that are listening to this. And thank you for listening to my testimony. I would like to grow into having even less of an identity, which would mean that I can change and I can be anything at any time, that I am a moving part of everything in this world, that it's not some fixed, stable niche or aesthetic, or I'm not on a plane needing to perform perfection or moral superiority, that I am just here in like a fluid state becoming. Okay. So I wanted to end this video with a song that I've been singing a lot with my mom this past week. It's actually a prayer that I learned from Rosanita in Peru. She taught me a lot about my Quechuan ancestry, and we sang a lot, and she felt very maternal, and this is a song. Porque te quiero tanto, porque te quiero tanto, 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 porque te quiero tanto. Con todo mi corazón, hey ana, hey neyo way. Because I love you so much. Because I love you so
so much, so much, so much. Because I love you so much with all of my heart. Hey Ana, hey Neyoe. Porque te quiero tanto. Porque te quiero tanto, tanto, tanto. Porque te quiero tanto. Con todo mi corazón. Hey Ana, hey Neyoe. Because I love you so much. Because I love you so much, so much, so much. Because I love you so much with all of my heart. Hey Ana, hey Neyoe. See you guys in the next video. Hopefully it won't be too far from now. Leave me video ideas down below. That will be great. You guys support me so much. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. I can't even believe it ever. So thank you. Let me know how I can support you. I'll see you soon.